Welcome once again, friend, to the most commonly repeated one-liners in ENT. This is the part 13 of the series. Myself, Dr. Naren Singh Chauhan. So, beginning with today's topic. Now, question number 1, which says that focal length of the mirror, which is used in head mirror, that is used for the ENT examination is. This is more commonly repeated question. NEET PG exam as well as the Viva question for the third professional exam going students. So that answer for this is 250 mm. The focal length of mirror used in head mirror is 250 mm. Now the second question arises out of head mirror is which says that what is the diameter of head mirror in ENT? That the head mirror that is used in ENT examination has a diameter of 9 centimeter. The answer is 9 centimeter. The focal length is 250 mm and the diameter is 9 centimeter. Now the newer question which are arising now, that is examination under microscope has a focal length of. Now we know that in the ENT surgeries are getting advanced and most of the surgeries are now being conducted under the microscope. So the microscope which is commonly used for ENT surgeries had a focal length of 200 to 250 millimeters, which is most likely like the focal length of head mirror, but the correlation for learning purpose, the focal length is of 250 mm. Whereas in the examination under microscope has a focal length of 200 to 250 mm. Going to the question number 4, which says that what is keratosis obliterans? Keratosis obturans, which says that keratosis obturans is nothing but the desquamated epithelial cells of the external auditory canal. Desquamated epithelial cells of external auditory canal. The most important question of today's is that otitis externa hemorrhagica. But the key word here is otitis externa. The key word is hemorrhagica. This is caused by influenza virus. We have to keep in mind otitis externa hemorrhagica is caused by influenza virus. So hemorrhagica is the key word. Now going on to the question number 6, which says that the classification used for pars tensa retraction. We know that in ear we have or we can say in tympanic membrane we have two parts. One is the pars tensa and another is the pars flaccida, and both can have retractions. If there is a retraction in pars flaccida, this can ultimately result into the colestritoma formation and formation of retraction pocket. Whereas in retraction is pars tensa as well as seen in most common cause is Eustachian tube dysfunction. So the classification which is used for pars tensa retraction is SAID classification. This is SADE, SAID classification. This is there are no full form. This is the SAID classification, and the classification for pars flaccida is TOS classification. So this is in tensa we have SAID, in flaccida we have TOS. So we don't have to confuse. This is opposite. In tensa we have SAID, in flaccida we have TOS. Now going on to the question number 8, that is what is tragal sign? Tragal sign, if we press the tragus of the patient, if we press the tragus of the patient inward and inwards, the patient will complain of pain, and the sign is positive in case of otitis externa. So because of the inflammation of external auditory canal, there is tenderness present which is elucidated by pressing the tragus inwards. This is known as tragal sign. So this covers two questions. What is tragal sign and in which disease the Tregel sign is positive. Going to the question number 9. Okay. Malignant otitis externa. In the last series, we also covered the malignant otitis externa, few MCQs. So, due to its malignant behavior, since this is a misnomer, malignant otitis externa is not a cancerous disease, or means it is not a malignant condition, but due to its fulminant course, it is known as malignant otitis externa. This we discussed also in last topic. But this is also called as skull base osteomyelitis because it due to its quick extension, it sometimes involves the skull base also. So that's why it's called as skull base osteomyelitis. So skull base osteomyelitis is synonym for malignant otitis externa. Now coming on to the question number 10. This question number 10 includes two questions. First, what is tympanoid sclerosis? And in tympanoid sclerosis, in which layer of tympanic membrane is the deposition of calcified material happens? So the first question is, what is tympanoid sclerosis? This is the hyaline and calcified deposits which accumulate within the fibrous layer of TM. We know that there are 3 layers of tympanic membrane, out of which it accumulates between the fibrous layer of TM and submucosa of middle ear. So mainly which layer of TM is affected? This is the fibrous layer of tympanic membrane is affected, and it is the deposition of hyaline and calcified deposits. So this finishes our part 12 of the series. Stay tuned because many more parts are coming. If you like the video, kindly share and subscribe. Thank you.